So this is what my chest used to be like as a very naturally skinny guy, and this is what it is now. And it's fair to say objectively that this has enhanced my physique, made it stronger, broader, more masculine. And basically in this video I want to teach you the key things I've learned, things I've taken away, so you can make this transformation and grow your stubborn chest as fast as possible, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is you need to stop engaging your front delts, okay? See, whenever you're doing a movement in the gym, your body's aim is to recruit as much muscle as possible to be able to do that. So when you're doing a press, because your front delts are there, it will always try to jump in to basically assist you in doing that movement when you're trying to press through your chest. However, what you want to do is isolate your chest. You don't want your front delt to get involved, so you want to basically do something called scapular retraction. Most people will be pressing like this, right? I'm gonna see. So your shoulders here, and you're gonna be pressing like that, right? That's how 99% of people press when they're in the gym. But what I want you to do is retract your scapula, pin it back, and then press through like this. See how now my rear delts and shoulder basically pinned to that table, I mean to the chair and the bench. Imagine that's the bench. That's how you need to be pressing. So let me again show you. So this is wrong, right? This is how most people are pressing, and this is how you should be retracting. So when I say retract your scapula, imagine you do a shrug, right? And you've got your traps pinned. You should be able to feel your traps there. Then you basically roll that back and stick it against the bench. And no matter where you get to in the movement, you keep your scapula retracted all the way through. And that is how you engage your chest the most. You need to get a coffee in your own mug. It tastes 20 times better, I promise you. Point number 2 is you want to start focusing on the stretch portion of the exercise. Now, there's a lot of studies that have shown that full range of motion can lead to greater muscle hypertrophy compared to partial range of motion as well. So make sure that you're going all the way down. You can actually call it a term called eccentric stretching. In the eccentric phase, or basically the negative phase of an exercise, your muscles can experience even more mechanical tension, which leads to more muscle damage, which basically means if you eat and sleep after that, you will grow. And a lot of the time, the eccentric phase, believe it or not, so the negative phase contributes more to muscle growth than the positive, so pushing up. So it's really important to keep that in mind. And studies have even shown this as well. Exercises performed with a full range of motion resulted in greater muscle size compared to those with partial range of motion. There's a full conclusion that full range of motion does improve your muscle growth. And when I say full, I literally mean make your hands go all the way down. If you're doing dumbbells, touch your chest with the dumbbell and then go back up. Full stretch, nothing less than that, okay? The next point number 3, is training to failure, right? This is my personal experience. I believe in pushing to failure, but through minimal sets. So what that means is you don't overdo it. You don't push to failure and train an Arnold split or push-pull legs 6 days a week. You do it through quality. Because I split my training loads up, for example, you know that I do upper lower or full body routines. I'm able to have a few sets per muscle group in each exercise. So that means on those days, if I've got a focus area, I can really push to failure and take it to the extreme ends of the spectrum. The thing is, when I push my chest to the limit, it's almost a mental cue that I have to eat properly, sleep properly and recover, because it's a hard and taxing place to be when you're at complete failure, right? Now, with complete failure, the idea behind it is that it increases muscle fiber recruitment. So if you want to lift more weights, or if you're getting towards the end of your reps, your muscles basically recruit more fibers to be able to move that weight. So imagine, think of fibers like soldiers, right? Maybe at the start you only recruit 5 soldiers, then 10, then 15. But when you get to failure, the idea behind it is it's recruiting like 100 soldiers to be able to move that. And recruiting more of those fibers leads to more growth, is what the science sort of details. Now, another point is some studies have found that it's very small, but you get enhanced hormonal responses. So for example, your anabolic hormones like testosterone, growth hormone during your sleep can be enhanced. Even though it's very small, let's just take it, right? So push to failure with these chest exercises, especially if that is our focus point right now. Make it a priority to push really hard on these exercises, right? It's that quote, aim for the stars, and if you fail, at least you'll reach for the moon. So what I mean is, if you're aiming for failure, you've told yourself, when I'm training chest, I'm going to push to max. You might only get to 1 or 2 reps in reserve. You might not be mentally or physically conditioned to be trained to failure all the time. But if you go in with the attitude, you will get to those growth reps, right? That's another thing to keep in mind. So go in with the mindset at least that you're going to go to failure. Cool. Now, point number 4 is I want to always include these 2 exercises which I have found blew up my chest over the last year or so. So the first is weighted dips. Now I wanted to do weighted dips because it allowed me to load very heavy and get a powerful stretch like I mentioned earlier, that stretch, that full range of motion is what's going to really enhance that muscle growth. And I would go far as to say this is the best, or if not the only exercise that you need really to blow up your lower chest. The other exercise is I want you to do the incline Smith machine press. Now for me, with the way it's set up, I can really target that upper chest in a controlled, focused fashion. You can push to complete failure because it is very safe. Because you're on the Smith machine, you don't even need to get it up all the way. You can go to absolute failure, so your hands and chest can't even take anymore. That is a massive advantage. If you've got the mental strength and the ability to do the exercise properly without breaking form too much, then go to full failure on this exercise. It's huge, trust me. And if you keep the tip of retracting your shoulder blade all the way through, even more muscle damage, which leads to even more growth. So when you go into that total failure, use things like partial reps. So what partial reps are is, if you get to, for example, 10 reps and you know you can't do a full rep, then just do 3 half reps at the end of your main set straight away. Another you can do is negative reps. So if you've got a spotter, ask him to help you up with the rep and then you control it really slow on the way down. And you do that again another 3 times. Huge, huge, huge growth there because you're going past the point of failure, which you can't do on your own. And a really good thing with coffee break. And a really good thing with the incline Smith press is you can really focus on imagining your elbows are coming together at the top of the movement as well. That is huge in terms of a mental cue to engage your chest, right? So if you're just sat here now and you retract your shoulder blades and I tell you to bring your elbows together, automatically you'll be able to feel your chest just start to get contracted. Now imagine you've got weight on either side on an incline press and you do the same thing, right? Huge, huge game. And I also want you to add extra volume to these exercises. So instead of the average 2 to 3 sets that you might do for the other exercises, make your chest a priority, go for 4, 5 sets even. Subtract the sets from the other exercises that you're quite good on, it's not your focus area, and put more of it into your chest. This is called volume delegation. Now, this is how I want you to structure the exercise as well, and how to actually put all this together. When you go into your sessions, I'm going to use the example of a upper lower split. So you're going to do upper body twice a week. I want you to start with your chest. You want to go in there when you've got the most energy, when you're the most focused, and you can push really, really hard. Just go to the max. Completely go to the max. Leave nothing in the tank with the chest. Because remember, we're only doing a couple of sets. We're not doing a full chest workout. So you're going to move on to the next muscle group anyway, which won't have been hit. That's a powerful thing about doing these upper lower splits, right? So train to failure and choose a weight where you can just about get that target rep. Now it might take a week or 2 to find out, but trust me, just do it and you'll understand and feel how faster your chest will grow. You want to focus on those quality sets. So good stretch, good control, full range of motion, don't ego lift, and keep that in mind when you're doing these sessions. So for an example way of setting it out, on upper day 1, go 4 sets of 12 reps on the incline Smith machine press, followed by 2 sets of 20 on a cable fly. Now that you've done 4 sets heavy on the incline Smith press, you don't need to do additional 2 many sets of cable flies. Can just be used as an accessory just to pump the extra blood in the muscle. And 2 sets of 20, that's all you need. You don't need to be doing 4 or 5 sets of that because you've already hit your chest quite hard on incline Smith machine press. And the other one, for example, on weighted dips, you could do 4 by 10 on the weighted dips and then 2 by 20 press ups. Now you probably think to yourself, oh, this is not that much chest, not that much chest, but this is just an example that I'm giving you. You can add an extra chest exercise if you want to, but remember what we're focusing on is high quality reps. You need to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, if I tell you to do 4 sets of 12 on an incline Smith machine press, is your shoulder retracted all the way through? Are you going through full range of motion? Are you controlling the negative? Now you might not think that these are game changing things, but this is literally what I did. I'd only be doing 3 or 4 chest exercises max a week, but I managed to grow it. And that is because I was focusing on really, really high quality. Yes, there might be a time when quantity can help, but right now, for most of your cases, just focusing on good quality reps and just prioritizing some extra sets could be the ball rolling factor for you to get that chest out of that stubborn phase and built like a Greek god.